Hey, what's going on, everybody? So today I got a deck profile of first place from YuGiOh Day at the Castle. I won with the infamously known PePe, so I'm sure everybody's excited to see. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it, and I will start everyone off that has OCD off by making you cringe. 2 Ulti Veilers and a Noble Knights Veiler. So, sorry. Just not cool enough to have the 3rd ulti. Oh well. And then, forewarning, if for whatever reason you don't know what any of the cards in this video do, the deck list will be in the description, and you're welcome to look them up if I can't get a good enough shot for you to see them yourself. Next up, we got 3 Luster Pendulums. One of the prime guys of the deck, really sets the plays up. Good old, goes good with just about anybody. Plushfire, Pendulum Sorcerer, just about everybody. He's a tuner for making your Dracoslayer stuff. So, and then of course in the background we have the mat. Beautiful little mat. Next up we got 2 Jigabytes. Hindsight 2020, I would have cut this guy to 1, honestly. Because just because I opened with him so many times, and then he took the spot of a Pendulum monster in my hand, and that was not... It made me brick a lot, and then I couldn't do much. But so he's just a guy that you can special summon if you have a spellcaster. But next up we got the Performapal lineup. Start things off with 3 Pendulum Sorcerers. So this is going to be pretty standard stuff. 3 Skullcrobat Jokers. Sweet little common out of the Pendulum structure deck. I don't remember what it's called. Master Pendulum, something like that. 3 Performapal Monkeyboard. Common and Breakers of Shadows. Some lovely little stuff. 2 lizardraws. Performapal lizardraws. All commons, except for Sorcerer being a secret, of course. And then 1 ofs. 1 Guitartle. I prefer Guitartle, but oh well. And then 1 Partnaga. So I would say everything up here is pretty much standard. Partnaga, I guess some may play it, some may not. I like to play it because it's a reptile, so it's searchable via King of Feral Imps as a low scale, a scale of 3. And I'm going to bring it up to the camera so we can see. Pendulum effect, once per turn you can boost somebody by 300 for each Performapal card you control. So generally speaking, of course, you can summon Joker and then add this to your hand, activate it in the Pendulum zone, and boost him by 600 so he becomes 2400, meaning he's a auto out to things like a Vanity's Fiend or things of that nature. In addition, he's got the monster effects, although we don't usually Pendulum summon him that often if we can help it. Mostly just there for the Pendulum effect. I did happen to have 3 Performapal cards, him, another scale, and the Joker, so I was able to boost him by 900, and he got over a Rafflesia for me in the finals, so that was really good. But yeah, so he really helps out. And we only play the 1 because you pretty much never want to draw him. You only ever want to search him with King of Feral Imps when you're ready for him. But some people like it, other people might not. I like him. So next we have the Performages. So 1 Trick Clown. 1's really all you need of this guy. 1 Hat Tricker. Again, 1's really all you need of these guys. Mostly because they're not Pendulum monsters, which means they pretty much clog your hand for this deck. They can set up for some great plays, absolutely, but they otherwise can clog your hand when you open with them and things like that. So just 1 of each of them. 2 Mirror Conductors, which ratios of this guy vary widely, anywhere from 1 to 3, depending on, I guess, how crazy you are or what kind of a build you like. But I like 2 because that way you can activate him with a Luster Pendulum and be able to Luster Pendulum, pop it, add another, activate again, and then Pendulum summon it back. But also, I really like 2 because he is, when you're playing against like the new Monarchs that just came out, he's basically an out to having a Monarch in the field spell, assuming they don't have March of the Monarchs, so that you can actually target the Monarchs. Because if he's on your field, you can swap their attack and defense so they become 1000 attack, and then you can punch over it with practically anything else. But so I'm going to hold him up to the camera, he's really nice. So I like 2. Feel free to, of course, test your own ratios, but this is just the build that has worked the best for me. So 3 ofs, we got 3 damage jugglers, good old Performapal DJ. This guy's a definite 3 of, particularly for the mirror match because he's a way to stop Wavering Eyes, or against other Pendulum decks, I guess. Just any Pendulum deck, he stops Wavering Eyes. And he's a Karibo, and he's a tutor for any Performage except for himself. So I mean, really no reason not to play 3 of this guy. He's one of the best, and then the other best is Plushfire, which we also play 3 of. So this guy just combos too great with Luster Pendulum, with Sorcerer. I mean, he's just one of the main combo pieces of the deck, more or less, because every time he gets destroyed, you special out a Performapal from your deck, or Performage from your deck, sorry. But, so that's it for the monster lineup, for the main deck. We got the spells, very, very small on spells. We just got 2 instant fusions for Norden. That's the only target. I thought about playing Panzer Dragon, but I ended up not doing it. I really don't have the extra deck space. But, and then triple Wavering Eyes, of course. Gotta have those for the mirror match, for other Pendulum matchups, for just whatever, brick hands and stuff. I mean, comes in handy. So those are fairly staple, I'd say. So then we got lastly the traps, also very light. 1 Bottomless and 1 Treacherous trap hole. These are for Rafflesia. I do play a Rafflesia, and so these are, in my opinion, the best ones. I was playing Time Space, and then I was considering Traptrix Rafflesia Nightmare as well, but I don't like to main deck those because going into this, I was basically expecting a lot of Monarchs, which came true. I fought 2 out of the 4 rounds were Monarchs, and so I mean, those do absolutely nothing versus Monarchs. The Bottomless, well, neither of these are that great if they have March on board, but I mean, if they have March on board, practically none of the trap holes are going to save you anyways. But the Treacherous is absolutely the best, and then Bottomless, I mean, it's just good against other matchups and whatever. It's Bottomless. Can't go wrong. I freaking forgot to get my secret Treacherous too. Oh well, I'm bad. Lastly, for the main deck, we got 2 Typhoons. God bless Typhoon. This is the reason I won Game 1 of the finals, and I think I got it at Game 2 as well. And it might have been the reason I won. I don't remember, but I know it was definitely the reason I won Game 1 because I was forced to go second, and so I opened with this. And as soon as he monkeyboard got the search, and then as soon as he tried to establish the second scale, I just popped it, and that pretty much just stopped him from there. But yeah, so fantastic card. I think it's gone up in price recently, so but definitely might consider picking them up for the main or the side deck if you're playing this deck, of course. Moving on, we have the extra deck. There's that 1 Norden, just the one. I do play Decklist Emerald, so I can always recycle him back if I want to go for instant fusion twice, but I barely draw instant fusion as it is, honestly, and it's not really a huge part of this deck. It's just a thing to extend my plays, I guess. And then we got 1 Trishula. I decided to play this just for the lols, more or less. Like, I played 3 Veilers, so the odds of me having a Veiler and 2 level 4s are pretty high, and it happened, I want to say it happened at least once today, which was in the finals, Game 2. Resolved this, completely blanked my opponent to 0 cards everywhere, so even though he top decked a monkeyboard next turn, I was still able to win out on the game. But that was fun. Wish I could have made it more. Another reason I put it in there was because if I had 1 level 4 and then an instant fusion, I could get the Norden, bring back the Veiler, and sync with the 3. But so yeah, this is totally optional. You can just replace it with whatever you feel necessary or comfortable with. I only played 1 Ignister because of it, so if you want a second Ignister, which probably would have been pretty good, I probably could have used a second Ignister in some cases, but it's totally opinionated. And then we got onto the Xyz, the triple little lineup here. 3 Musketeers, that's what I was looking for. Tellarknight Ptolemaeus, who goes into the Cyber Dragon Nova, and then you slap Cyber Dragon Infinity on top of him. So that is their only purpose. These 2 are just to get Infinity out, and then Infinity is just, yeah, it's like a Quasar that sits there that can absorb dudes. So he's really strong. Next up, we got 1 Rafflesia. Lovely little lady. She's absolutely fantastic for the deck. I mean, she's a great thing to make turn 1. You can make her turn 2 even, and then immediately dump a Treacherous Trap hole and just pop off monsters on their field. As well as her stats are a bit strange. They're 300, 2500, which can in some cases work in our favor. You can actually put her in attack mode and then have your mirror conductor swap her stats, so she becomes a 2500 beater, and then she can actually attack. But those are extreme rare cases. I don't think I ever actually did that today. I've done it previously, but not today. But yeah, but she's awesome for sure. Next up, we got one Daigusto Emerald. This guy's just great. He just recycles back our stuff. I only ever made it like once on the day. Probably could consider cutting him, honestly. He really isn't necessary. He isn't needed. That spot could have been used for something else, but maybe a Ragna Zero. But Diamond Dire Wolf as a one of. Just my favorite little way to just pop back row and whatever. Number 101, Honor Arc. This guy's still cool, still good. I don't think I ever actually made him today. Of course, I fought Monarchs 2 of the 4 rounds, so I mean, I didn't use much of my extra deck in general, but that's how it goes, I guess. Next up, the one Magister Paladin. Just one of him. That's all you really need. Which I don't like playing it, honestly, but I mean I play it because him and Ignister makes combos that go for lots of damage and can help you go for game whenever. One Castell, pretty staple. One Dweller. Dweller is kind of a hit and miss. Some people don't play it anymore. I still like him because I mean, if I were to fight Cosmos, he's good. He's good against Monarchs. They have a lot of different effects that activate in the grave. He can be good against PePe if they like really need a Juggler in their grave. You can summon it and prevent that from happening. But so he's still pretty good. I like him. One Trapeze Magician. This guy's just solid, good body. If he dies, he specials, so he floats, and then he can just help you go for game. And then lastly, the one King of Feral Imps, which the running joke is we call him Potato King because he looks like sweet potatoes. Don't ask. But yeah, he's nice little rank 4. He tutors out Lizardraw, Partnaga, Jigabyte, sets up plays, gets scales. Too good not to play. But. And then next up we have this side deck, which starts off with lovely little Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Decided this in the finals in game 2, opened with it, and this was basically the reason I won that game, because as soon as he played a Monkeyboard and tried to use it, just boop, popped it, nothing happened. Stopped anything broken from happening there. Hindsight, I only played PePe once, which was in the finals, so I don't know that maining it would have helped me out, but I might should have sided a second one. I don't know, that could have been helpful. Definitely if you're going to events and you're expecting to fight a lot more PePe decks, you're going to want to main at least one and then maybe side the other kind of thing. Or just side 2, however you choose to play it. But next I sided 3 Denko Sekkas because I was really expecting to fight some decks with heavy back row. Didn't happen, but hey, I can't know what my matchups are until the day, right? So just got to be prepared. That's all I can say for that. We got 2 Shared Rides, which was for potentially Monarchs. They search a little bit, mostly for like the mirror match against other PePe and whatever, because they search a lot, and then just decks of that nature. I could have played like Mistake or Mistaken Arrest, but I of course search myself, and I don't want to shut myself off while trying to shut my opponent off. I'd rather just draw off their searches. Plus, the big deciding factor for this was I placed so many hand traps, given the 3 Veilers, 2 Typhoons, the Ghost Ogre, that I basically just figured with this I can draw into a hand trap to try and stop one of their plays or something. But we got 2 Twin Twisters. I think I sided in like once against a Monarch. Yeah, not much to say about it. I didn't really get much, but I played it mostly just to out floodgates and stuff like anti-spell fragrance, whatever, because I wasn't manning any MSTs or anything. One Solemn Warning in the sideboard. I don't know why I did this. I just decided, hey, I have this slot and I like to use it for this because it's just good against a lot of decks. Honestly, should have just probably main decked it, or just not played it. Whichever. Next we got 2 Breakthrough Skills. These are really good for me against the Monarchs. The first Monarch I didn't draw it at all. The second Monarch though I did, and it was really helpful being able to negate a monster effect, and then when they try to do Ether and summon it on your turn, you can just negate it with this again. So that's really helpful. 2 Fairy Winds, again, expecting decks with like a lot of floodgates, like the anti-spell fragrance, and you lose the turns, and just any kind of deck with floodgates like that or whatever. You can just do this. I think I sided in the mirror match as well, just to potentially burn my opponent / kill their scales. But and then lastly, 2 Massacre Strict, because again I knew I was going to be fighting Monarchs. Despite the fact that I fought 2 Monarchs and sided these in every time, I never once drew them. So that's how it goes. That is Yu-Gi-Oh, ladies and gentlemen. But last comments, hindsight, I would say I would try to incorporate at least 1 Arcfiend Eccentric in the main, and then maybe like a second in the side, or just 2 in the main somehow, because I feel like that would have been really beneficial to me as like an MST/exiled force that I can reuse for that portion. But yeah, other than that, that's the deck, guys. So thanks for watching, and tell me what you think.